glad to have you here today.
All
I
right.
just want you to know that before we get started, everything that you say here is going to be confidential within the confines of this meeting. If you, sorry about that. If you wouldn't mind, can you tell me a little bit about what brought you here today?
Yeah. I mean, I've just been having like a lot of arguments with my partner lately, and it just feels like we're constantly misunderstanding each other. Excuse me, basically, and it's just getting exhausting at this point. So, yeah.
Gotcha. That does sound like it can be really stressful. When communication starts to break down like that, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Can you talk me through what typically happens during these arguments?
Yeah, no problem. So it's usually starts small, and then like something about chores or plans, but then it escalates, and I I just feel like I'm not being heard, and then I just shut down at that point. So
Gotcha. So when you feel unheard, you tend to withdraw. What do you notice about your partner when this happens?
um well well they get more frustrated and push harder for me to like respond, and which just makes me just want to shut down even more at that point. So that's pretty much how it's going.
Gotcha. So it sounds like that's kind of creating a cycle. Your partner pushes, you withdraw, and then both of you
Yeah.
feel disconnected. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it sounds like both of you are trying to be heard, but when this is happening, it's actually pushing you both a little further apart. What I'd like to introduce to you is something called communication cycles. Right now, what your pattern looks like to me is you feel unheard, so you tend to withdraw, and then your partner feels ignored, so they push even harder for the answers, which is very common in relationships. One technique that I think will help you is using what's called a soft startup. So instead of using things like I'm frustrated, you might open up with I feel overwhelmed. I need a moment. Just reassure your partner like I do want to talk about this, but I just need a second. How do you think your partner will respond if you said that?
Well, I mean, they probably calm down a bit, instead of thinking I'm just like I'm ignoring them.
Exactly, exactly. So you're still
Yeah.
setting a boundary, but you're reassuring them. This tends to help end the cycle. I also want you to look at the roles and expectations. Or can you explain to me how your roles and expectations are set within your relationship? Do you and your partner clearly define the roles and responsibilities, such as chores and planning? Who does what kind of
Okay.
thing?
Um, you mean like okay, so like I'm sorry, the signal kind of like got bad there.
I
You're
understand.
saying that basically you want me to explain, how we're doing it, or like
Are there any like clear definitions of who does what in your relationship?
okay,
So, like, are you solely responsible for the dishes? Is your partner solely responsible for the dishes, or do you both? You
oh,
just assume
well,
who's going to do what?
no, not really. I mean, we just kind of assume things, basically. I mean,
Gotcha. And not to place blame anywhere, but I do think that that could be a point of contention that could cause tension within the relationship. One goal that
oh,
we might want to work on is maybe restructuring those expectations so both of you are clear in what the end goal is and you both feel supported.
okay.
Let's try a quick practice. Imagine your partner just brought up something that would normally trigger an argument. How would you respond using a softer approach?
I mean, okay, a softer approach. Well, okay, I'd be like, like maybe. I mean, I can hear what you're saying. I just need a minute to think before I respond.
That's great. You're acknowledging
Okay,
them as well as taking care
okay,
of yourself.
okay.
So, based on what you shared, it seems like the main issue isn't the argument itself, but the
Mhm.
pattern that you and your partner fall into. where one pressures, well, I wouldn't say pressures, where one pursues a certain answer like right away, and the other tends to
Okay.
withdraw. This pattern is creating what's called emotional distance and frustration on both sides. So here's what I would recommend moving forward. Let's work on those communication skills, right? Improving communication skills by using what we just talked about as a soft startup,
Right.
using more of the I statements as opposed to you make me feel, right? So I feel I need a little bit of time to think before I respond. And then, of
Okay.
course, that's going to break the pursue withdrawal cycle, which is what we talked about a little bit earlier. It's also going to allow you to acknowledge feelings before reacting. I
Okay.
want you guys to work on clarifying your roles and expectations. Have structured conversations and responsibilities, and then follow it up with like weekly check-ins or daily check-ins if you need to. But I do definitely want you both to set aside some time to talk calmly about your concerns. How does that sound?
I mean, yeah, that actually sounds really helpful. I mean, I think we need that, that kind of structure, especially the I statements. I think that's very important for something that I know I need to work on myself. So definitely, definitely.
Okay. So I guess my final question would be like, what does structure look like to you in a healthy relationship?
Okay, so I mean, structure for me, it would be I mean, it's communicating and about who needs to get what done, and how we're going to get it done, and you know, finding that area that will work for the both of us, to where we're not feeling as stressed out, and that we can accomplish things together,
Right.
and so that way I'm hearing what my partner needs to, have, done, or to feel heard, and to feel important, and vice versa for me as well.
Okay. So I guess how do you see? I guess what would be a way that you can overcome the need or the want to shut down if you feel like you're not being heard right away?
I mean, for me,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just, when someone just, doesn't bring too much energy to me, and they're able to verbalize exactly what it is they need done,
Hmm.
without having to, elevate a voice or something like that. That would work for me. If that approach, it's about the approach for me.
Gotcha.
So, that's an aspect that, definitely, breaks tension,
Okay. Seems like the signal's breaking up just a little bit. Can
okay.
you can still hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I got what I would want to do is wrap it up because I'm not sure if our connection is going to stay as strong as it is right now.
Okay.
But again, I'm really glad that you were able to open up and you were being able to come into this with an open mind about the strategies. I do want to see you take charge in these practices that we've discussed today. But
Okay.
from what I see, you've already taken one of the most important steps, which is the first step, and that's recognizing the pattern, right? Understanding that there could be
Okay.
an issue. So what I would
Right.
like to do is let's plan to follow up on these strategies and let's see how they work for you. And again, I thank you so much for your time and thank you for sharing today.
Thank you. You have a good day. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having me.
Same to you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.